Hello students, welcome to today's class. So today we discuss chapter which is related with electric cell. So you know an electric cell is the source of electric current, and in electric cell chemical reaction takes place. An electric cell mainly consists of a vessel. So this diagram shows an electric cell. This is one of the examples of electric cell. It mainly consists of a vessel, and inside vessel a solution is taken which is known as electrolyte. Here dilute sulfuric acid is the electrolyte, and some two types of metal rods are kept inside the electrolyte. They are known as electrodes, and chemical reaction takes place. So chemical reaction takes place, and this electrolyte decomposes. The chemical decomposition takes place. This sulfuric acid that will decompose into positive hydrogen ions and negative sulfate ions. Positive hydrogen and negative sulfate ions. Then this negative sulfate ions that will drift towards zinc, and it will deposit the electrons on the zinc plate, and the zinc plate will have excess of electrons. Zinc plate will have excess of electrons, so a negative potential is created on zinc rod, and this positive hydrogen ions move towards copper, and what is happening? It will remove this positive hydrogen ions will remove the electrons from the copper. As a result, it will have deficiency of electrons. Copper will have deficiency of electrons because this positive hydrogen, while drifting towards the copper, it removes the electron from it. As a result, these electrons are removed from the copper, and the copper will have deficiency of electrons. As a result, a positive potential is created on copper plate, and a negative potential is created on zinc plate. Positive potential is created on copper plate, and negative potential is created on the zinc plate. So there is a difference in the potential between positive electrode and the negative electrode. So there is a potential difference. So this positive electrode is called anode, and the negative electrode is called cathode. So there is a difference in the electric potential between anode and the cathode. There is a potential difference, and here you can see that no external resistance is connected to the connected between the anode and cathode, and there is a potential difference. So here no current is drawn, no external circuit is there, or when no current is drawn from the electric cell, there is a potential difference between the two terminals of the cell, which is known as EMF. So EMF, the full name is electromotive force. So electromotive force is the potential difference between the two terminals of a cell in an open circuit. Open circuit means when no current is drawn from the cell. That is known as a EMF of cell. When no current is drawn from the cell, the potential difference between the terminals of a cell is known as EMF or electromotive force. So what are the factors? What are the factors determining the EMF of a cell? So EMF of a cell depends upon the material of the electrodes, the material which is used to make the electrodes, and also it depends upon the electrolyte. It depends on these two factors: material used as the electrodes and the electrolyte which is used. So it depends on these two factors. And EMF of a cell does not depend upon the shape of the electrode. Whatever be the shape, it does not depend upon the shape of the electrode or the distance between the electrodes. Distance between the electrodes. Now the next topic is terminal voltage. Terminal voltage. What is terminal voltage? Suppose that between these electrodes an external resistance is connected, and external resistance is connected, and when current is flowing to the external circuit, this is a external circuit, and when current is flowing to the external circuit, that time when we measure the potential difference between the two terminals of the cell, whatever potential difference we get, that is called terminal voltage. So terminal voltage is the potential difference. Terminal voltage is the potential difference between the two terminals of a cell in a closed circuit. Closed circuit. So closed circuit means the circuit in which current is flowing. That is called a closed circuit. So open circuit means the circuit in which current is not flowing. That is called a open circuit. The potential difference between the two terminals of a cell in a closed circuit is called terminal voltage. The next topic is voltage drop. Voltage drop. So voltage drop is the potential drop across the voltage drop is the potential drop across the internal resistance. So here the electrolyte is there. So here electrolyte is there. When this charge flows from one electrode to the other electrode through the electrolyte, some energy is spent against the electrolyte. So due to that only there is a voltage drop. So there is the potential drop across the internal resistance, that is called a voltage drop. Then there is a relation between EMF, terminal voltage and voltage drop. Suppose that this is the relationship: EMF is equal to terminal voltage plus voltage drop. EMF is equal to terminal voltage plus voltage drop. Suppose that when no current is flowing, suppose that here I connected key or a switch. Now no current is flowing to the external circuit. When no current is flowing to the external circuit, And now suppose that this one it shows a reading of here an voltmeter is connected, and this one now when no current is flowing, that time the voltmeter shows a reading of 3 volt. So that is will be that 3 volt will be the EMF. And then when current is flowing to the external circuit, now that time what are reading this voltmeter shows, that is the terminal voltage. Suppose that it shows a reading of 2.7 volt. Now what is the voltage drop? How much voltage drop is there against the internal resistance? How much energy is spent against the internal resistance? That will be 3 minus 2.7, which is equal to 0.3 volt. So on adding this terminal voltage and voltage drop, we get the EMF. The unit of EMF, terminal voltage and voltage drop is a volt. Volt is the unit. The unit of EMF, terminal voltage and voltage drop is volt. So we have seen the relation between EMF, terminal voltage and voltage drop. EMF is sum of terminal voltage and voltage drop. Terminal voltage and voltage drop. Terminal voltage is calculated by the formula current into external resistance. Voltage drop is calculated by the formula current into internal resistance. So when we substitute this in this formula, we get E is equal to I into R plus I into small r. So I is common, that can be taken out. That is I into R plus R. So this is the relation. By these all formulas we have to use for solving the numericals. Now the next topic is internal resistance. Internal resistance. Internal resistance of a cell. What is meant by internal resistance of a cell? When electricity is or electric charge is flowing through the electrolyte. This is the electrolyte, you know, this is the electrolyte. And electric charge is flowing through the electrolyte. Electrolyte offers some resistance in the flow of current. The obstruction, this is coming inside the cell, inside. That is why it is called internal. Internal resistance means resistance inside the cell, inside. So internal resistance is the obstruction offered by the electrolyte to the flow of charge. So internal resistance is the obstruction offered by the electrolyte to the flow of charge. When charge is flowing inside the cell, suppose charge is flowing from one electrode to the other electrode, there is some obstruction which is coming inside the cell. That resistance is offered by the electrolyte, internal. It is taking place inside the cell. That is why it is called internal resistance. The internal resistance is the obstruction offered by the electrolyte to the flow of charge. Then internal resistance depends on certain factors. One is the surface area of the electrode. Surface area of the electrodes. Surface area of the electrodes. So greater the surface area of the electrode, less is the internal resistance. Then distance between the electrode. Distance between the electrodes. If the distance between the electrode is more is the internal resistance. Distance between the electrode is more is the internal resistance. Then the next one is concentration of the electrolyte. Concentration of the electrolyte. Greater the concentration of the electrolyte, greater is the internal resistance. Last part is temperature. So these are the factors affecting the internal resistance of a cell. And the next topic is combination of resistors. Combination of resistors. So when a number of resistances connected in a certain pattern, so first we see series combination. Series combination of resistors. In series combination of resistors, suppose that this is one resistor named as R1. The end of this resistance is connected with the end of the second resistance. Okay, the end of first resistance is connected with the end of the second resistor, and the end of the second resistor is connected with the end of third resistor. So this way connecting, that is called a series combination, and it is connected to a source of current. So this way combination is called a series combination. Series. So in the case of when a number of resistors are connected in series, the end of first resistor is connected to the end of second resistor, and that second resistor's end is connected to the third. If more are there, like this, it will continue. So this way combination is called a series combination. And in series combination, the same current will be flowing through all the resistance. The same current will be flowing through R1, R2 and R3. Suppose that 5 ampere current is drawn from the cell. 5 ampere current is drawn from the cell, and 5 ampere current will be flowing through R1, R2 and R3. So that is the characteristic of series combination. Same current is flowing through all the resistances, but the potential difference is different across different resistance. That is the characteristic of series combination. And in series combination we find the effective resistance by the formula R1 plus R2 plus R3. Suppose that we have three resistances, each of 6 ohm. So what is the effective resistance? What is the total resistance? That will be equal to 6 plus 6 plus 6, which is equal to 18 ohm. This way we calculate the total resistance. So in the case of series combination, we find the total resistance by adding the individual resistance. On adding the individual resistance, we can calculate the total resistance. So this is about series combination. The next is a parallel combination. The next one is a combination of resistors in parallel. Suppose when a number of resistors are connected in parallel, this is one resistor, this is another resistor, and this is another resistor. Suppose this is R1, this is R2, and this is R3. R1, R2 and R3, when they are connected in parallel, they have a same joint. So this way combination is called, so you can see that they have a common end. These resistors R1, R2 and R3, they have a common end. So such a combination is called parallel combination, and it is connected to a source of current, and the current is drawn from here. And what are the characteristics of a parallel combination? So in parallel combination, the potential difference across the resistance, or the potential difference across all the resistance is same. Suppose that it is given as the terminal voltage as 4 volt. Terminal voltage as no internal resistance is there. No internal resistance is there. So the voltage is 4 volt. So then no internal resistance, no voltage drop. So in this case, the potential difference across R1 is 4 volt, potential difference across R2 is also 4 volt, and potential difference across R3 is also 4 volt. Potential difference is the same. Potential difference is same across all the resistors when they are connected in parallel. But the difference, the current is not same. Suppose a certain amount of current is coming here, and that is divided into these three resistors. So that current which is flowing through different resistors is different. That is the characteristic. Voltage or potential difference across all the resistors is same, but the current flows through different resistors is different. So current reaches up to here, then that is some current is going to this one, some going to this one, some to this one. Then after that, when it comes to here, that time on adding, then we get the same current. So this is about and now how do we find the total resistance in parallel combination? In parallel combination, we find the total resistance by the formula 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Then this is the format to calculate the total resistance in parallel combination. Suppose that these are all each of 6 ohm. Then what is the total resistance? We substitute the value in this formula 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6. Taking the LCM 3 by 6. Then doing the reciprocal, therefore R is equal to 6 by 3, which is equal to 2 ohm. So we get this way we find the total resistance when a number of resistors are connected in a parallel. So you can see that when a number of resistors are connected in parallel, the total resistance of the circuit decreases. Total resistance of the circuit decreases when they are connected in parallel. But in the case of series combination, you can, if these 6 ohm are connected in series, we get a total resistance as 6 plus 6 plus 6, which is equal to 18 ohm. In that case, what is happening? The total resistance of the circuit increases. That is much more than the individual resistances. This one, in the case of series combination, we get the total resistance by adding the individual resistance. So this is about the series and now the last topic is mixed combination. Mixed combination means the combination of series and parallel. That is called the mixed combination. Here you can see R1 and R2 are connected in parallel. With this one, R3 is connected in a series. So such combination, that is called a mixed combination. In such cases, how do we find the total resistance? First, we have to find the total resistance of these parallel resistors. So how do we find the total resistance of these parallel resistors? That by the formula 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So we get 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6. So therefore R is 6 by 2 equal to 3 ohm. The total resistance of this one, that we get it as a 3 ohm. So this is also suppose at 6 ohm. Then we have to find the total resistance. This one's total resistance, we get it as a 3 ohm. With that 3 ohm, this R3 is connected in a series. So total resistance of the circuit will come 3 ohm plus 6 ohm. 3 ohm plus 6 ohm, which is equal to 9 ohm. This is the total resistance of this circuit. So this way we calculate the total resistance in mixed combination. Okay, today we have seen about EM, terminal voltage drop, and the combination of resistors. Next class we will discuss another topic.